Heidi ho, everyone. I'm not Mr. Fruit. I'm the guy who slept in and made Mr. Fruit leave a little bit early because he had things to go do.
You son of a bitch.
In today's episode, we talk about the state of Overwatch. Is Tears of Kingdom the greatest game to ever come out? And I also went on a bachelor party and kind of found out that I'm a terrible person when I didn't even mean to be. Okay, I totally didn't think about it. But
and he got really drunk.
I messaged everybody in there and I went, I now realize as I told the story on the podcast, the reason one person went in there went, oh.
All that and more coming up on the GG Over Easy podcast.
Accidents happen all the time. So it's important for you to have somebody that has your back. You know, years ago, my grandfather fell and the medical bills that he had to experience were insane. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 800 lawyers. With over $15 billion recovered for patients, Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record for fighting to get you the full and fair compensation. Submitting a claim to a Morgan & Morgan is more like ordering takeout than hiring a lawyer. It's super easy. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/GG. For dial, pound law, pound 529 for your cell phone. That's FOR, thepeople.com/GG or pound law, pound 529 on your cell phone. This is a paid advertisement. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for sponsoring GG Over Easy. During the prime spring season, you need wholesome, convenient meals to energize you for warmer, more active days and keep you on track of reaching your goals. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and tackle everything on your to-do list. Everybody knows how much Mr. Fruit and myself and BlueWestlo love Factor. The meals are delicious and they're ready for you in just 2 minutes. It's so convenient. Eat them while you stream, eat them while you game, or eat them for dinner. Too busy to cook this May? With Factor, skip the trip to the grocery store and skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat up and enjoy. Then get back to outside and soak up that warm weather. Head to factormeals.com/GG50 and use code GG50 to get 50% off your first box. That's code GG50 at factormeals.com/GG50 to get 50% off your first box. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's important to spend time on yourself, especially in today's age. Things are tough right now, and it's more important than ever to sit down and think about yourself. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you may need for yourself. BetterHelp can teach you how to love yourself and treat yourself with kindness and respect, exactly what you do with other people. So why don't you treat yourself the same way? If you're thinking about starting therapy, give it a try. I was a little bit hesitant to start BetterHelp myself, but during a couple weeks, it just felt like clockwork. It was awesome. They were professional. They listened to me and made me feel a lot better about myself. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 183.
Damn.
59.
Almost at 200. And you guys
we'll keep saying that until we're 200. Then, wow.
Yeah.
It's 182. Yeah, I knew that didn't sound right. 182.
We've said this a million times, but we
now we gotta bring it back.
Started this as a in-person project, and it has quickly turned into a not in-person project.
It's totally not noon, and I'm totally not just waking up. So
and Rob totally isn't whole hogging it from the waist down.
Don't let the hair fool you.
Viewers,
I mean, I did because all my pants were downstairs.
Been there. Just like I've been here before. Same old story. Can you guess what I'm talking about?
You're getting penis reduction surgery.
No. Another AAA game has disappointed me.
Wait, what?
Can you guess which one?
What
Please, no, please don't.
A
I don't.
AAA game has
Mr. Fruit,
disappointed
stop.
you.
No, please, please,
It's
please.
not for the king because that game is
Please.
sick, and
It's
you
sick.
show
Fruit,
respect
please,
when we talk about that game.
please, Mr. Fruit. No,
Final Fantasy 14.
everyone's gonna
You
kill
finally-
him. Everyone's gonna kill him.
It's Over Scam 2. Again.
Oh,
Yeah,
Overwatch 2.
No.
Okay.
I'm
Thank God.
not talking about Zelda.
Thank God. I was
I'm
like,
not
Mr.
gonna-
Fruit, please.
I'm not
I
looking
was
to
like,
get
Mr.
crucified.
Fruit. I was
didn't
like,
even
is he gonna
think
do it?
about
Is he
that.
gonna let it rip?
I didn't even think about
I don't want to
that.
be. I don't want to spout something like that and then get crucified like the Koroks. All right. Look, I ain't looking to
those
do
poor
Hey.
little fellas, man.
Poor
There's
little
some
dudes.
pretty funny videos. No, actually, well then I'll get to Overscam 2 in a second. Played some Tears of the Kingdom. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
For something that's not usually your type of cut of your jib, it's good. I was saying when I was doing the tutorial here that this would definitely appeal more to Fruit
Well, see,
than
that's what I was
the
gonna
intro
say.
to the intro to Breath of the Wild.
I think this worked for me better because, well, I went and did like everything in the tutorial area, but it was like 4 hours of a little more on rails. Of
Yeah.
like, you can kind of do whatever, but we're going to slowly introduce things and sort of explain things and you do that. And now you get the open world, which is what I appreciated that. Whereas Breath of the Wild, the problem for me was, boom.
Here you go.
All right, you're free. And for me and my brain, that's like, too many things. And then I just like freeze. But this was nice because you go through it, and then I will admit too, I think the reason I like this a lot more too is it seems so basic, or like on the like you could explain the mechanics. Somebody be like,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound interesting. But the fusing and the whatever through like the objects, those two
Oh
alone,
my God, yeah,
like game changer.
so sick.
The fusing as well is like it just adds this whole other thing to it, because not only with weapons you can get a little more creative, but then I haven't gotten to it yet. I haven't really been able to play around, but like seeing all the stuff people are making with like the mechanics, whatever they're called,
The Korra crucifixions.
yeah, they're making like I saw a video of a dude who's like, I'm on like my 20th iteration of my bomb
Oh
run.
yeah, the fucking Macross Mach 86-4.
He straight up had like a ship that's like laser beaming, and then has a phase 2 where it then unleashes like another like artillery drop or something, and it's like raiding bases. And I'm like, I put three
I saw,
logs
like,
together and I made a sail. I put a sail.
I
It's a
saw
boat.
like a armored core, like it was like a robot, like he was literally like walking
Yeah.
like a robot, and like it
Lots
was
of penises
crazy.
too. Lots of penises.
Yeah, I was gonna say I made a penis log. I
Of
mean,
course you
and I
did.
don't mean
I
to
mean,
toot
hey.
my own horn or anything, but I am quite the builder. But I was talking to a buddy at the Nuggets game about it because he was asking if I've played it, and he's also like you, didn't really like Breath of the Wild or anything like that. And he's like, I love this game. He's like, it's like the first game where it's like make your own fun, where it actually is like fun.
Well, you know what's funny is Claire loved Breath of the Wild. She's very mixed on this one. Because
Really?
for her, it's too ambiguous, which I could understand. Like, she's the kind of person that wants to be told what to build. Like,
Yeah, I could feel that.
like, hey, here's
Okay.
this puzzle. Here's what you build to fix it. Whereas, go for it.
Here's just 6 logs, a thing.
Yeah,
if
like,
you can move, you'll move.
You decide. For her, like, that's not what she likes.
I can definitely see that because I love the original Breath of the Wild. I can definitely see because this game is so much more than just the combat, right? Whereas Breath of the Wild, the OG, was like you had a couple of really cool tools, but at the end of the day, like it was all for the same intention of just be the shit of a bunch of things and explore some cool areas and get some cool shit. Whereas this one adds a whole new dynamic to. By the way, you could build a literal war crime and unleash it upon the planet. Haha, have fun. So, I mean, ultimately, like you could still play the game like Breath of the Wild. Like you don't have to be doing all this crazy build stuff. At the end of the day, right? Like the puzzles still take into account like you still have to solve the puzzles with the tools they give you when you go into these shrines and stuff. Whereas like when you're in the overworld, it's like yeah, have fun,
Like a
do whatever.
sandbox.
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
even further.
How many
And-
hours are you guys in? Like, would you say?
Oh well, see, I was only able to play that one day, so 4 hours because it took me 4 to just
So we're about the
meander
same
through.
spot.
So I'm literally like I hit the ground after like the
Oh, okay.
oh.
See, I hit the ground and did like 30, 45 minutes of like the main thing, and then I had to get off.
I've probably put in like 9 hours so far. I've streamed it. Been having a lot of fun. Probably gonna stream it again today. Probably
Hell
gonna
yeah.
go so hard on this game. I really like it. I ended up playing the game not even remotely how it was intended. I immediately started like scouring Hyrule Castle for things. I then got sidetracked and went to a spoiler zone because you guys haven't been there yet. Ended up finding a Lionel in said spoiler zone.
I don't
That's
know
the
what the
thing
fuck
I
that
thought.
is.
That's the one thing
Uh,
I beat in Breath of. That's where I went where I shouldn't have been.
Oh,
Fought like
I've
this
seen a
level
clip of
40
a
Lionel
dude
or
that
something.
takes like a penis tree that he made and
And
throws it around in
reverses it.
circle.
Yeah.
no, he
Like it's like the
he
Cyclops
reversed
thing.
the penis to,
Mhm.
Yeah,
to
he
I
would just like
tried that.
grab it and then like just hold it and moved it around and stuff, and then
Yeah,
went
I tried that.
reverse.
Didn't work quite as well for me. But yeah. So then I at spoiler zone I found a Lionel. Ended up like I don't have the weapons for this. I got to go to another area to get better weapons to fight this dude. Ended up scouring Hyrule Castle because I was like, they definitely don't want me to be here at the start of the game. Found
Yeah.
like 8 million different things I probably shouldn't have found. Fought a bunch of random mini bosses I probably shouldn't have fought. Got sidetracked. Went to exploring into spoiler area of Hyrule Castle. Finally got out of Hyrule Castle. Uh, After 4 hours, my intention was I need to get weapons to fight a Lionel. Spent 4
Oops.
hours not fighting that Lionel. And then on the 5th hour, decided I should probably go back and fight that Lionel. Sauced that fucking Lionel up. And then I was like, wow, I didn't do anything for 5 hours.
But see, that's what you did. That's the beauty of it.
Exactly. It's dope.
Whatever you
Can I
meant.
ask you guys? Can I ask you guys something though? And this is like a real question. Do you think the dick eating this game gets would be the same if it didn't have the word Zelda in front of it?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
say a game.
100%.
You think so?
This game is like just a. This game is like Fortnite tier sandbox wet dream.
See, like I think the game, like if this was just like the world game, you know, like had no Zelda
I don't know,
attachment
man.
to it at all, I
gotta
think it would be like
disagree.
this is a 9 out of 10. You know, I think just the fact it has that the Zelda tag makes the dick eating insane.
I would
Like
say
it's
a lot of
awesome. I
people.
just don't think it's the greatest game ever to touch the earth.
Oh, I mean, it's way too soon to be saying that. But I think, I mean, the Zelda team has been doing this for so long where they just like, Nintendo is just like, you need 7 years for another game? Okay. Here's infinite budget. Have fun. In the same way that like Epic, obviously they have their own company, just like, yeah, we made Fortnite and we're probably going to throw a bunch of money into some other titles you haven't heard of yet because we're rich as fuck. And same deal with Sony, right? You have these studios that like just have the opportunity to innovate because they can and they have time. And Zelda devs are probably like the peak of that. You had Ocarina of Time, right? You had Wind Waker, which for at the time almost killed the series, but eventually people were like, you know what?
Looking back, it is like a
Damn, that
good
game
game.
banged. What was wrong with us?
Yeah.
And then you had Twilight Princess, which was another just
I just don't like the Wii thing.
it didn't
Like, I
age
thought
as
that
well
was
as others, but like Zelda devs, what they always like they're always like, how can we push this farther? Every game has something that other games just haven't done yet.
yeah.
I would say Tears of the Kingdom is not like as innovative as Breath of the Wild because Breath of the Wild like really
I
just
think
blew the doors wide open for like, okay, this is how an open world is supposed to be, guys.
yeah.
And
I
then you
think
have every single dev just making really bad open world clones,
yeah.
right? It set this
Sonic
set this
Frontiers.
standard for the industry. Whoa, dude! And so I mean, I mean, Zelda devs do this all the time, where they just innovate so hard, and I can imagine there is definitely a level of dick riding that the games get for sure, but I also don't think it's unwarranted dick
I'm not
riding.
saying it's not unwarranted. Like it's totally warranted, but I just thought it would be a little bit lighter if it just didn't have Zelda in front of it.
I need to remember because 2 points, but I'll address the first one, which is the question. I am inclined to agree with Rob, where I don't think initially. I think the problem is it wouldn't have the same initial velocity
Oh, 100%.
of like the so in this hypothetical situation, I don't think it would have reached the same critical mass over time just because it didn't have the immediate. I think
100%.
I think it would have been though, like if it was literally just this, but like a different pro tag and a different IP, then I think it would have been at some point somebody's like, "Have you tried this game, dude? They're cooking." And then I think
someone
it would
have
like, go that way.
eventually people would have picked up and been like, wait, this is
Like the
fucking
Among
insane.
Us. you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Among Us, even Fortnite, right? Fortnite was peak, like,
Or even PUBG.
If-
Yeah, I mean that's how word of mouth is how I heard
PUBG.
about Fortnite.
PUBG. Yeah, if this game was by some random indie, or not indie, but just a random new IP, it definitely wouldn't have the initial velocity of Zelda, right? Because Zelda is a staple of gaming. It's cultural. Normies know Zelda. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean,
Nintendo
I
has
think
most of them.
eventually it would have reached a velocity like in the same way. Yeah, like PUBG redefined BRs, and then eventually you had Fortnite, which was like, what if we did PUBG but we threw a fuck ton of money at it, and
All right, yeah.
and then you got Among Us, where it's like, wait, they were cooking with this game. Hold on, why aren't more people playing this?
Well, and the whole thing about like Tears of the Kingdom not completely like reinventing the wheel or being as innovative as Breath of the Wild was, is true, but it also shows, and like people talked about this. So like a lot of people, for me, it didn't matter because I didn't play Breath of the Wild, but we're like, oh, we're like practically getting the same map. That sucks. But in
No.
reality, it's still pretty different. And also, the argument goes to show like this is what happens when they don't have to spend time on figuring out the map, and instead have 6 years to just hone in on what they already know they want to do, and then add different stuff. The devs who I like follow on Twitter and stuff, they're literally sitting here like, I don't know how this was made. Like, I don't know how any of this works on the Switch,
Especially
nonetheless.
on the Switch.
Yeah, they're
Because
like,
let me
what
tell
kind
you
of
guys,
wizardry?
even though they're like, I don't know, people are really underselling how much larger this game is than Breath of the Wild.
Well, because
Um,
Nintendo
yeah.
officially revealed it, I think recently, but I've heard of it. I obviously haven't seen it yet, but there's a whole under map, like cavern of Hyrule, which is like sunken. I don't know what it's called. But it's like this spooky dark place, which is, as I believe I was told, the same size as the overworld of Hyrule. And of course, you have the flying stuff.
In addition to the whole Sky Islands floating above, which the whole tutorial area is not a small tutorial area.
Oh.
No, it's huge.
It's like a mini game in itself.
I thought that was the game, and then people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
All
you're
right,
still
roll
in the
credits.
tutorial."
Oh yeah, that's like, oh no, that's the game, like 5%.
Oh no, somebody was like, "Oh, you beat the tutorial 30 minutes faster than Fruit did," and I was like, "Oh, that was the tutorial." I was like, "Oh."
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
During the prime spring season, you need wholesome, convenient meals to energize you for warmer, more active days and keep you on track of reaching your goals. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and tackle everything on your to-do list. Everybody knows how much Mr. Fruit and myself and BlueWestlo love Factor. The meals are delicious and they're ready for you in just 2 minutes. It's so convenient. Eat them while you stream, eat them while you game, or eat them for dinner. Too busy to cook this May? With Factor, skip the trip to the grocery store and skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too. Factor's fresh and never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat up and enjoy. Then get back to outside and soak up that warm weather. Head to factormeals.com/GG50 and use code GG50 to get 50% off your first box. That's code GG50 at factormeals.com/GG50 to get 50% off your first box.
So we see it with like this game, and well, I can even think of others. It's usually the sequel that's also further into a console's life cycle when the devs have it figured out.
Yeah.
Because like Breath of the Wild, for instance, was the first of the Switch, still figuring it out. And they still worked magic, but the difference is
for sure.
now they have 6 years. They don't have to relearn the console, whatever that is. Already have blah blah. So we see this with like God of War Ragnarok. They were just able to innovate and improve on literally everything before. They already know the system. They already had like a thing.
Perfected that sequel.
Yeah, and even for me, like I just played it. It's the same way I look at Horizon Forbidden West. They had a good game. They already worked magic. And they're like, all right, we're just going to do this better and add more stuff. And it's just like...
Well, that's how it should be, right?
Yeah, but well,
you know,
unfortunately, that's not always the case.
I had a chat frog come into my chat and was basically like, how do you feel paying $70 for the same game? I was like, first of all, you have obviously not played it. Like,
go back to Modern Warfare 27, dude.
That literally just shows like you didn't play it, because literally all these things you get drastically change everything. Like
it's a completely new game. I think so many people are so jaded by current AAA that when they see any form of recycling, they're immediately like, "What a ripoff! What a ripoff!" And it's like, dude, just play the game. You'll see it's not. You'll see
so
it
you
is more. It's not Breath of the Wild plus. It is Tears of the Kingdom. Trust me.
So
just play it.
You guys know on Tutorial Island where it's trying to teach you like to put a hook on
dude,
pallet
my chat told me.
I literally just like tight-roped it like across the thing. Like I didn't even build it. I just tight-roped it.
I did it, and chat was like, "Wow, good job." Bless and Rob just walked over it.
Oh, Bless did that too.
They're like, "Yeah, Bless and Rob just tight-roped it and hoped it didn't fall."
Well,
yeah,
that's the crazy thing too about this game and the puzzles and like the shrines is there's not one way to solve it. There's like seemingly almost endless depending on like the further you get and how many things you have. But like I remember somebody saying they watched 3 different people do the first shrine, 3 different, and they all did it differently, but got the same solution. Like it's crazy.
Like the one where it teaches you how to fuse, and you're supposed to fuse the boulder to thing, and then like hit the stone wall or whatever. Spoilers sorry, but this is like Tutorial Island. I took the 3 boulders, connected them together, and put them on the wall, and then just climbed up the boulders and jumped over the wall. That's what I did.
Hey, fight the system, man.
Hey, that works.
And it was actually pretty funny. And then like I lifted the boulders over the wall and like put them over here, and they started tipping over. I was like, no. And then like it hit the wall and destroyed the wall, and it was like do. And I was like,
oh.
I do want to say I watched you try and reach the dragon.
Cool, right?
But I was sitting there, and everyone's like, dude, he's cooking with the 2 paragliders. But that didn't do anything.
Cooking.
It did.
But it made me go farther. I literally got to the kill box.
Well, no, that's the thing is,
made it to the dragon.
No, you could have just done it with 1 paraglider. Like it didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, the paraglider starts blinking. It goes ding, 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 and then goes away after a while.
You did. I see.
Well, if that's the case, you're cooking. But...
Yeah,
maybe you were cooking.
It did that, and then like it goes away, and as soon as it went away, I jumped onto the other paraglider and then went to the dragon. And then the kill plan happened.
Yeah, never mind. He's cooking. Let him cook.
It was sick.
Then he finds out
it goes away after a while.
Then he finds out the dragon is.
Well, apparently, someone in my chat, I don't know how true this is, but they said basically that because of speedrunners and stuff like that, that they made Tutorial Island so like you had to like kind of learn the game and not just go to Hyrule immediately and beat the game.
People will still find a way.
People will.
The speedrunners will figure it out. But yeah, long story short, big fan. I don't know how much. The problem though is like I know this like 100+ hour game. So for me, it's like how am I going to juggle all this?
Yeah.
Especially if I wanted to make content, what I might end up doing is just play most of it on my own because like with my surgery, I'm not going to be doing much. So maybe sit in bed and play some Zelda.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
But that's the opposite. You know, that AAA game that gave me some
Back to the-
life.
Speaking of AAA games that actually rip you off,
Like,
We have. Well, it's
genuinely.
funny how you mentioned like what Fortnite did. They're like throw a whole bunch of money for PvP. Well, it's funny. They pulled a reverse Overwatch too, where they had a PvE game, make a little PvP thing, and they're like, "Don't worry, guys, we'll finish the PvE." And then they just abandon that and go
it's
the other
okay,
way.
guys. We just abandoned our entire title to make a 2, and then the whole reason we made the 2 isn't coming out.
Yeah. So spoilers.
Buy the next battle pass.
Overwatch 2 came out. They had like a I don't know, roundup thing to preview things to come, roadmap, blah blah blah. Where one of the directors also finally announced that the PvE vision they had is scrapped, which is to say, you know, the PvE thing that they showcased at 2019 when they revealed the sequel, which is like the certain way the missions will be structured, and it's mainly the like talent trees and hero stuff, hero like alternate skills, blah blah blah.
It looks pretty cool.
I was actually
Gone.
looking forward to playing it.
That's
I was more
it?
looking forward to playing that than I was, getting into the long term of the PvP.
Well, that's what
And
was holding me over. I was
yeah.
like,
Yep, same.
it's gonna be like new life once the PvE drops, and then people are playing that. Well,
All right,
problem,
guys, go.
yeah, now that's not happening. And instead, they're like, well, we're still getting PvE, but it's going to be like episodic missions spread out throughout seasons on the Battle Pass, of course. And without any of that stuff, essentially what it sounds like, and what I'm sure it's probably going to be, is just like all the PvE things we've had before in Overwatch events, like the archives and whatever, where it's like a cool mission, then you play it once. And that's it, because there's no replayability. The whole point of like the skill trees and the progression and the way they were going about it and all different heroes was like, you can progress and you can change things and it's fresh every time and you can try different things. The whole problem is there's going to be no replayability again. We're just going to be right back to where we are. And the bigger question here too is, what have they been doing for 4 years?
And see, when they were like, "It's okay, we're still going to do the episodic side," and it's like, so you're just going to bring back the campaign missions you made for live events.
Like
Got it.
that are like trash.
And you're going to milk those for the next 4 years as live events. Got it.
So sad.
You can't tell me, like, you cannot tell me that Overwatch 2 was announced because of the whole like Hong Kong.
Oh
like,
no, 100%.
Like now it is like you did that just to do that. Like you had zero plans for Overwatch 2. Like you just needed something because you knew you had Diablo on the phone. Like you knew
you had a bad
needed
year.
Something.
And so they were like, "What do we got in the oven, boys?" And they're like, we have this cinematic that we made that we're probably gonna, I don't know, maybe we'll do for an announce in like 2 years or so." And there's like, "Ship it now." What do you mean ship it now? We have no backbone for the ship it now. They need to forget about the Hong Kong thing and also all the sexual allegations. Ship it now. We don't have any ship that shit right now.
Yeah, that, like, and like the cosmetics in that like game are like still awesome, but like the price is unjustifiable.
That's the narrative right now. Is it's like, so let me get this straight. You originally said Overwatch 2 would exist alongside Overwatch 1, but then you actually shut down Overwatch 1.
Scrap that, yeah.
You say it's a sequel for like better graphical improvements. Nothing really there.
Nothing different.
You say it's for a whole PvE thing. PvE's canceled.
Scrap that.
And then whatchamacallit, like battle passes. And so essentially all they did was make it so that they could eliminate the loot box system and instead get this more predatory like battle pass cosmetic shop thing and to just make it worse for everybody. And that's it.
And don't even get me started. They literally shipped, it really just feels like they shipped Overwatch 2 to get rid of that loot box system so it would not fall in, so it wouldn't have any issues.
I didn't even think about that. That's probably
with its
like,
monetization in China.
Yeah.
Because China doesn't like loot boxes, right? And obviously, like a lot of games can't do. A lot of games have scrapped the loot box system because they want their game to work in China, right? So it really feels like
there's like some European countries.
yeah.
Down whatever.
So it really just feels like um, Activision and Blizzard in tandem were just like, man, you know what we really need? Some more money from the game that sold like 50 million copies.
What? That's the thing. As you look back, like that was my hope. Like maybe with PvE, we'll kind of get back even just a glimpse of what it was like in 2016, 2017. Because I still don't think people realize like how big Overwatch 1 was.
Oh man.
Within the first year or whatever, like 50 million copies at box price, $40, whatever. Like it wasn't a free to play game. 50 million people. That's why they started churning Overwatch League out. Because they're like, oh, geez, we got something. Like, let's get this going. It's number one everywhere. It's like taken over. I remember reading how it was now number one in all the PC bangs in like China and Korea. And everyone's like, League's dead and blah, blah, blah. Like, Overwatch is the future. We're going crazy. Of course, like,
League is
you have to think
dead.
about it too. Overwatch pioneered a lot of like the streamers we know today. They XQC, Overwatch. Him the Tatman, Overwatch. So many other people where like careers started to find like this was one of the first video games where like it just built
It had like
personalities
that
and
Destiny kind of
creators.
effect,
Yeah,
but like I think almost times like 10.
but yeah,
Oh,
but bigger.
100%.
And then they all just went to Fortnite. But
And then
it,
the
like,
devs, like the death of Overwatch 1 wasn't even a marketing thing. It was just, wow, how do you make awful decision after awful decision? And then Overwatch 2 just straight up died because, hey, marketing team really needs something to hold these guys over from all the shit that we've been doing.
we went from like just like the most trendy game at the time, and then suddenly it's like, where are the updates? Where are the new heroes? Where are the new maps? Why is there nothing? Why are balance changes taking over a year? We're stuck with goats. What is happening? And then they just like don't make content for 2 years. And then they're like, but we've been working on Overwatch 2. So there was like 2 years of like life support Overwatch 1, but they didn't do anything. So like, oh, we're working on 2.
And people just dealing
we
with
got
it because
2.
of the promise of 2.
Yeah, and now we got 2, and so it's like, well, what was all that for? It's just like such a fumble. And so like they don't release numbers anymore, but there has to be something where they're like, well, we're making enough from people buying the battle pass. It
Yeah.
has to be, or something, for them to continue doing this. And it's just sad. Pretty much
Yeah,
all it
it's
is.
I mean, we talked about it while you were gone. Just like the state of AAA games, like I don't think it's ever been like in a worse state than it is now. Because normally it's like, oh, this game kind of stinks, but like it works, and but like, oh, they're trying to like look at it. They want $20 for a red dress, like fuck that. And now it's like, God, this game does not work at all, but the cosmetic shop works. Like, just
Milk them while you can.
anything is. They're all just after our money at this point. They don't want to give us any good games anymore, except for the people over at Nintendo. Kind of.
I mean, Nintendo. I mean, like ultimately, at the end of the day, right? You have first-party developers who are still just shoving out just banger titles because
they're real.
Because you know their companies are like, okay, you clear like you guys sell just massive blockbusters. And also because I'm pretty sure Sony makes most of their money off of software. And while Nintendo makes a lot of money off the Switch, I mean, same deal. Like they're a software company at the heart at the end of the day, right? And so there's just like, yeah, just make this game bang so you could sell more of our hardware, right? It's
Okay.
a different medium. Whereas with these other companies that just do their own thing, it's like they don't have these consoles to fall back on. You know, they don't have multiple streams of income. Their income is how many copies of this game can we sell? How much money can we get from this game? So it just turns super exploitative. The monetization schemes in these games becomes just super predatory, a la Bungie, a la Blizzard, a la every other title. Epic Games, while they're not exactly the saints of monetization, do still at least keep it up front, even though some of these skin prices are a little silly on Fortnite. But at the very least, you know, you still have like, hey, like you pay money for this battle pass. Also you get V-Bucks, so this battle pass will pay for your next battle pass, so you can keep paying for the next battle pass
Yeah.
as long as
At
you
least
keep
they
getting
do
battle
that.
passes. So at least they do that. But it's for the same reason they can be a little less scummy because Epic Games has
Epic.
Unreal Engine
Unreal,
5. They're just breaking it in from multiple sources. So yeah, I mean, when a company has all their baskets on, we really need to sell games, it just leads to those games being exploited in not so poggers ways, unfortunately.
Well, the crazy thing is, 10 years ago, excluding MMOs, they're a bit different. Video games didn't have a live service game. Yeah, that wasn't even a thing. 10 years ago.
When you say live service, you mean like
Think about it, every game now, where it's
Overwatch,
like
Destiny,
where a battle
Overwatch,
pass is
Apex, Destiny,
included?
Fortnite.
Fortnite,
Not even just the battle pass, but the battle
Halo,
pass is a
Sedge.
product of it. But like,
Yep.
where you release a game and it's there, but it's going to continuously get content
Mm-hmm.
at a constant rate to keep it fresh. However, that's also meant that like now when the game releases, you don't get the whole game. And as a lot of companies have found, yeah, we'll do this live service thing. Why? We can't keep up. So you don't even get like the content
Well, that's
cadence you
pretty
should
tough.
have. With all that comes the predatory monetization. And like, you know, for all the good Fortnite's done, also bad, like showing just the monetization, because that's when they're like, wait, we can make way more money by doing things a certain way. And so now that's how you see all the stuff. And so now when there's a video game, it's not like the first thing isn't like from the top. It's like, hey, let's make a good game. It's like, is it playable enough that people want to spend money?
Yep.
How can we get more money out of the people? So like, new game.
Honkai Star Rail, for example.
Well, gotcha games are a whole
Okay, see,
different
to
thing.
be fair though, that's also like the whole Hoyoverse thing.
Well, yeah, it's
They
a symptom
they've
of gotcha games, and
also
then you know what you're getting into. Like that.
they've also
Like
kind
you
of
know
reached
what you're doing.
they've also kind of reached a point where like we make so much money off the passive gotcha, like let's just throw money at a game concept and make it anime, and it works because I mean
And
they are good games at heart that happen to have that gotcha thing that's like just don't look over there, just don't look over there, guys. But like their fan base is like, let's fucking go! I rolled
yeah,
a
they're-
fucking double 5-star.
Crazy, like crazy. Like I think people who get 5-star wolf person is way happier than person who gets CS:GO knife.
Oh,
It's pretty
100%.
crazy.
100%.
Yeah, what Genshin did for like gotcha games is it was the first game where you didn't have to tell us, like, you just play it and you're like, wow, this is a game and it's fun. Oh, there's gotcha in it. Whereas all other gotcha games are centered around the gotcha, and then there's
Yeah,
a game.
exactly.
And so obviously Genshin's still centered around the whole thing of like, hey, you want to pull for people and get some things. But then there's just a whole game there that you can interact with. Now the depths of it or whatever, like MTash would tell you, the end game, blah blah blah. That's up for debate. But at the end of the day, it was the first game to just be like, here's like a seemingly a full game.
Polished, pretty title.
Yeah, with gotcha in it. Because I'll be honest, I played Genshin without realizing it was a gotcha. I was just playing for a while before I finally was like, wait, is this a gotcha
This
game?
is fun. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, this is just fun.
Rolls.
Oh yeah, because you thought it was like really pretty, like too pretty to be a gotcha game.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, check this out. Because everyone's saying like also like anime Breath of the Wild or whatever. I was like, I'll see for myself. And it was fun. And then I was like, this is a gotcha game? So lots of strides in the industry that have led to innovation, both good and bad. But it's just to a point where, I mean, you know, beating a dead horse, where it's just like new announcements, this, that, and it's immediate just trust issues. I don't believe you. Or like, that seems too good to be true. Or I'll believe it when it's in my hands and I'm playing it. And then I realize, oh yeah, they actually did it. And so it's not to say there aren't games out there, because like we just talked about Tears of the Kingdom, God of War, Horizon. There are these games out there that are hitting, but then there's also so many misses right now. And we're just in a weird space too, because again,
Very strange. Yep.
even like 10 years ago, the access to how many games you could play were also so limited because free to play was still sort of a novel idea that few games did, and if it was only PC. There's like no free to play games on consoles.
No.
So you had limited options, fewer options. Indie games weren't hitting the scene like crazy. They were still hard to get. Not so much. Well, around then that was the end of the life cycle of like 360 and PS3, so it was better for indies.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like literally just 10 years ago, you look at. So it's like, what's going to happen in the next 10? And hopefully it's for the better. But a lot of people are realizing, hey, wait, video game industry has been massive for so long and makes how much money? And we can get a piece of that, and then more. We can milk them for what? And so there are.
God.
The sad thing with this news is like, I'm sure there are devs who worked on that PvE for Overwatch 2, put their heart into it, tried, and it must be devastating for them. There's all the stuff that we don't see because it 100% is mismanagement.
Yeah.
And it can't help with the past couple years between all the allegations, the strikes, the walkouts, firings, the blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just been a dumpster fire, but they still couldn't come together and deliver on what they promised. And so that's what my tweet was. I was like, all right, I'm can't wait to hear what the next copium is for Overwatch 2, because at this point, like,
yeah, what is it now, Ruben? Like,
how could you still be an Overwatch apologist? Like, it's pretty clear at this point that like it's just broken promises. The game can still be fun.
It's just Overwatch 1, man.
Yeah, Overwatch's gameplay can still be fun to you. It can be a fun game.
Yeah.
But man, they fumble, and it's not what it was supposed to be, and it's just a bummer because like that was the nail in the coffin where it's like Overwatch is never going to make a resurgence in the same way that I or other people were hoping, or Activision probably hoped for. Like, I feel like that's just the nail in the coffin. Until they announce Overwatch 3, bringing back 6v6. I don't know. So
hopefully not.
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's important to spend time on yourself, especially in today's age. Things are tough right now, and it's more important than ever to sit down and think about yourself. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you may need for yourself. BetterHelp can teach you how to love yourself and treat yourself with kindness and respect, exactly what you do with other people. So why don't you treat yourself the same way? If you're thinking about starting therapy, give it a try. I was a little bit hesitant to start BetterHelp myself, but during a couple weeks, it just felt like clockwork. It was awesome. They were professional. They listened to me and made me feel a lot better about myself. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/GG. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this podcast.
Rob, you just went on another bachelor party. I'm sure you have some stories to tell.
Yeah. Okay. So, where do I start? First of all, these guys like to drink. All right. The last bunch I was with like to do other things. I mean, they like to drink, but it was also like other things. This one was just like, hey, we drink. And like, spoiler alert, unless it's a Voodoo Ranger, I'm not a big drinker. I kind of came to realization, I think, on this trip. I don't like to lose control, I think, because of the whole acid thing. Like, anytime I'm drinking alcohol, there's like a little thing in the back of my head that's like, hey, bro, like 2 more of these things and you're off the rails. Like, you are off the rails, that person. So, like, I just don't think I can be that person anymore. So we go to Universal Studios. Wow. Like, we're in Harry Potter world. This is so fun. He's a big Simpsons fan. So we go to like Duff World, which is like the Simpsons world, but like Duff is like a beer that's in Simpsons. So it's like, it's like 8 a.m. We walk into the thing and one of our friends forgets his ID. Oh my God. Like, you love drinking, but you forget your ID. How stupid are you? So we're trying to do the thing where Christian buys 2 drinks. There's a guy named Christian there. He buys 2 drinks. But the part goes, hey, I need somebody with an ID that like has for the second drink. Well, the second drink's for the guy that doesn't have his ID. And I see Christian trying to like tell the thing. I'm like, oh my God. So like I chug the rest of my high noon. So like I'm like, and it's like a tall boy. It's a big old thing. Like I got to double fist it or double grip it. So I smashed that. And then the first ride we're going on is Velocicoaster. This wasn't there last time I was there. Gotta say, one of the sickest roller coasters I've ever been on. Universal has this thing about it where like the line is also a ride. And I like that.
What does that mean?
It's like basically like, you know, if you go to Disneyland, you're like in between 2 little things and it's just like, hey, let's get you to the ride. And it kind of, you know, dresses the ride up a little bit. Universal has like, there's like velociraptors that were like stuck in a thing, like real velociraptors, bro. Like not like the
reanimated from the fossil.
They've literally been brought back from the dead.
These were real. They were like in a thing, like not move. They were, you could like kind of, you know, like the King Kong ride and the little like glass thing. They have the dead bodies of like the little bugs, and like those are real. So they just got the lines on lock. So we do Velocicoaster, crazy ride, one of the best roller coasters I've ever been on. And then we go to Harry Potter World, and I make the worst decision ever on getting this beer because everybody's getting beer, but Rob at this point, everybody's going to like, oh, let's go grab another beer, and it's just like, holy shit, like these dudes just like. And then they're like, hey, let's go grab this third beer and you get on the fucking Puka coaster. And then like I just know, like, if I drink this Dragon's Breath IPA from Harry Potter's World, oh, dude, it was one of those things where like I grab it and I'm like, all right. Like, and I took a sip and I'm just like, I immediately regret this $14 purchase. Like, and then it got to the point where we went to Harry Potter World again, and we got like everyone's on like their 5th drink. I'm still on that high noon from 6 hours ago. Like, and I'm like, hey, can I like grab the picture? Grab the someone got a Guinness, and I have a bunch of Irish friends, so I took the picture of the Guinness and was like, hey, drinking in Harry Potter World, even though I didn't take a sip of it. And then we went to like Duff World, and all the beer there tastes like Coors and like whatever. So I had one there. And that was pretty. Oh, and then we ride the Hagrid's ride. Hagrid has his own ride there, and that was fun. And then we did like the bank heist one at Harry Potter World. That was fun. Okay, and then next day we go to Epcot, and that's where like you go and visit countries and stuff like that. And the first thing we do when we get there is like you get in virtual queue for the new Guardians ride because there's a new Guardians roller coaster there. So that's what we do, and we're like group 120. So like our ride is like in 4 hours. So we go to like different countries, and I'm gonna be real this day. I said, I promise, guys, I'll drink in my Minions shirt because the day before I got a Minions shirt, I wanted to wear the Minions shirt at Disney. You know, kind of be a little different. You know, everyone's wearing Pluto. You know, and I'm wearing Kevin. And I can't tell you how many times I got like, hey, you're wearing the wrong shirt. It's like, yeah, no shit, idiot. Like, no shit. Like, of course I am. I'm obviously wearing this for like ironic purposes. I'm not grabbing this going like, oh, Kevin's my favorite Disney character. If that was the case, I wore a LeBron James jersey because he's my favorite Disney character. So we're drinking around the world and stuff. And like every drink is pretty shitty. Like, it's pretty gross. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like, sparkling wine is a Louis from France. Like, this is ass.
That sounds great.
But like, I'm still drinking them. Like, I'm drinking these things. Like, so like, we get to Japan World.
Of course.
Bro, there is this purple sake there. Oh my, like if you drank it, you would think there was no alcohol in it. It was literally like this like plum juice, like, but it had alcohol in it.
That sounds
Like those
dangerous.
are the ones that,
You gotta watch out for.
Those are the dangerous ones.
Yeah, but what was really dangerous is we ended in Mexico.
Oh god.
Now what Mexico is known for is their tequila bar.
Yep.
And I got to like, I think my last drink was in Germany. And at that point I was pretty fucked up. And then we had to go ride Guardians. Okay. So before we went to Mexico, we had to go ride our Guardians ride. And I am pretty drunk. And like the new Guardians ride is like Space Mountain 2.0. Okay. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but just think Guardians. Okay. Take Space Mountain, Guardians, they have a baby. That's the new Guardians, right? It's fucking sweet. But there is this, I mean, kind of spoiler alert if you are riding the ride soon and you don't want the ride spoiled for you. The car spins as you ride down a track.
Oh no.
A track that like,
you idiot.
well, like, okay, so like, but like, I'm not like as drunk as the other guys, but like, I'm, like, I don't, I'm trying to keep it together. So like that, I got off that ride, bro. And that was the first time I was like, I looked at them. I was like, I'm going to go sit down in China World, eat at a very nice restaurant and not do anything for about an hour. You guys can go drink at Tequila World. You guys have a problem. That's okay. Enjoy your alcohol. I need to go and just eat Chinese food. So three of the dudes were like, I'm with you, bro. Like, so like they come with me to China World. And the other guys are like, yeah, Rob, like we're totally with you. We're on the way to China World. And like at this point, we're already, and like this is like fine Chinese cuisine. It's not like one of those things at Disney World where it's like a little like a little thing, and then this is like an actual genuine Chinese restaurant. So like we're sitting there and they're like, oh, like our friends are gonna join us. 30 minutes goes by, no friends. Great. Like what alcohol stand are they at now is my thought. And we call them, they're like, yo, we're like at the restaurant. I'm like, what do you mean you're at the restaurant? We're literally sitting here eating our food. Apparently, if you walk like 2 more feet that way, there's like a hole in the wall, like not really Chinese food, but Disney's interpretation of a $10 Chinese meal rather than like the $25 one. So I get there. My friend, who I won't name names, his name's Connor. He is literally like, he can't even so like if you're like eating, you like eat normally and you bring up, I would say your hand to your mouth about, like it's, like you're bringing the hand to the mouth more so, okay?
Okay.
He was so drunk and he was eating like noodles, which is like not the best, fork food.
No.
He was literally like scooping the hand into his hand and then like
Jesus
meeting
Christ.
hand like halfway to the plate and then only getting like 20% actually in. And like this was the type of group, like if you sit down and tie your shoe for 5 seconds, they're off 20 miles that way. They did not wait for you. You're gone. So is at one point everyone's like, all right, let's go to Mexico World. And then like everyone's like all getting up and stuff like that. And like Connor's like looking around, like looks at his food, and it's like, that they have like trays, like they like there's just plate at this point and just like a rim of food just on the tray still. So like he just got it off the plate, half of it into his mouth, and then like half of it onto the tray. And like he's like looking there like a sad like boy, like, but I'm not done. And I was like, Connor, I'll sit here and let you finish. And he's like, thanks.
Right back to it.
Yeah. So, and then another cool thing is we were doing the fireworks at the end for the Epcot show, and these guys are drunk and they're just like, "Where's the stand here?" Like, I don't fucking care. Like, where's the stand here? And it is literally like we are in front of a fucking fence and can't see fucking dick. Like, it just can't see anything. So I'm like, this is like where my dad comes. Like, I go to Disneyland all the time, or back in the day. It's like, this is where my dad part comes to me. It's like, I'm not fucking sitting here watching fireworks from here. So like I start walking And there's just like this open area, like in the front, like no one is sitting there. And I'm like, huh, like this is kind of interesting. Like, I don't wonder why nobody's here. So like I kind of just go down and sit there and like I look around and like there is like a sea of people behind me, just like a sea. Like, and I'm in the front and like I'm like, you guys just didn't like you guys
You
should
lack
just like
the critical information.
yeah. I was like, you guys should have just sat here. Well, I'll tell you later. I come and find out. So, anyways, and like everyone's like pointing and like, hey, they see like a lot of do that. Is that like cool? Yeah, like that's kind of. But like he's onto something. He's really smart. And handsome too. So, and then like a cast member walks by me, and like just to like the test, like I felt like he was like kind of coming to like kick me out. And I think that's what everyone else did. And I was like, "How's it going, man?" And he was like, "Oh, dude, great, man. Enjoy the show. This one's awesome." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." Call my friend. Get over here right now. I got like the primo spots. And then I'm not kidding you, dude. Like clockwork. There was like 8 families that just went like right like here. And I literally went like, hey, there's like 7 people coming here and they're all really tall. I literally said that. I was on my tipsy kind of, I got here first, bitch. Like, this is my spot. So I got like 8 people coming here and they're all really tall. And I'm not kidding you. Like, I feel kind of bad looking back at it, but like it was a bachelor party, bro. Like 3 families like walked back to the little spots that they had for like 2.5 hours.
Walk of shame.
I hate you. You are the guy who skips lines, kicks families out for your drunk
I
homies.
literally took. That's not
This is
skipping seats.
the
This is
moral
literally
compass.
like, oh, I could sit there.
The worst part is Rob has a moral compass, but he can on a dime. He can on a dime just be like, I don't need this today.
Yeah.
But I was like, because I literally called and like they could probably hear me. I was like, hey, like this spot is this is the best. Like if you look at the video I posted, we're literally in the front, like no people. Like it was literally the best seats. I was like, get over here now. So what was cool though is, see, this is where we're actually nice guys, Blue. All the 8 tall guys I was with decided to sit underneath the rope. So the tall guy sat underneath the rope and let some of the family see, okay? And then the 2 friends who didn't want to sit down blocked their view instead.
Okay,
right?
But that was their choice. You still were like, hey, I got 8 tall guys, and they busted my thighs.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know, like, before 2 minutes before the show starts, and tree 1, tree 2, and tree 9 come through and go, hey, I'm planted here. I wanted them to know that. And they were way taller than the people I was telling this to. And the show was okay. It was like not the best fireworks show ever. It was okay. It's not very like Disney oriented. It's more so like the future is in your hands, people. And it's like the future is yours. And then like, and then that was it. And then what was cool though,
because I've never seen or been to any of that kind of stuff.
It's pretty cool. What was funny though is I never seen this. The Bachelor boy was conducting the show, which is like the fireworks would go and he'd be like,
"Did you see this right now?"
Yeah, Nate was killing it. He was really cooking something fierce out there. Oh, okay. And then this was actually one of the sketchiest things I've ever done. So we're leaving the park now, okay? And I don't know if you guys know this. Leaving Disney World and trying to get an Uber out of Disney World is probably like the worst thing ever. There's like a car of 70 cars that are like all Ubers, and you got to find the one that's yours. So like I'm trying to get an Uber, and my friend Christian, who is the embodiment of like just like the luckiest, like born into a very rich, successful family, just. Works like it sells insurance. I sell something and is very successful and just like kind of just lives life like, like whatever. So like, there's like this car just randomly parked there and we can't find it Uber for like 20 minutes. And I'm getting like very frustrated. I'm getting salty. Is what they kept saying. They go, oh, he's getting salty. And I'm like, shut the fuck.
Is that Wabby?
Oh, dude, they love giving me
salty
shit.
Wabby V.
Yeah, that is like their favorite thing to give me shit about. And then they just ask me about any video game ever and go, So Christian finds this random car and he goes, "Hey bro, are you Uber?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, like nothing's like working for us. Like, can you just drive us to our place and we'll Venmo you?" And the guy's like, yeah, like I guess. So we get in this guy's car who is like with like it has like a Uber thing and stuff. And we did a off the record Uber for the first time ever, which like in like the grand scheme of things can end very terribly for you. Like it wasn't until halfway during the conversation with this guy, because he was actually a really cool guy, and thank God he was actually normal. But like halfway during this, I was like, this could have gone awful. Like I am in a car with two pretty drunk guys, me who's a little inebriated, in the middle of like Orlando. It's like this could have gone very bad. But then we get back and flight was at 7 a.m. the next day. So I flew on home.
Wait,
And that was Bachelor Party at Disney again.
was there any
and
realization as to why none of the families were in the front?
Yeah. Well, I kind of realized it as I was thinking about it. And like this is gonna because it literally I think just clicked in my head. I think those spots were meant for people in wheelchairs, but
Bro,
there was
stop.
nobody there who was in a wheelchair at that particular moment
No way.
and didn't need that viewing spot.
Like clockwork.
So like as I was telling the story, I was like, I think I know why
Like
those spots
Clockwork.
were. So yeah,
This
so
dude
like
wonders why I'm talking about his moral compass and how he could turn it off. And I was like, no, man, I'm a good
I didn't
person.
turn it off. That I just admit, like that was just like that was just a miss.
This whole Mr. Fruit just holding it in the whole time, like
that's the
Blue's
best
not gonna
ending
tell him-
possible.
if Blue's not gonna
Like-
tell him, I will by the end of this story.
like that
Oh
was
my
like as I was telling the story, I was because like during the thing, I was like, they'd all be like, bro, sick, like
God,
like,
man,
like yeah, and then I was
I have
like,
these crazy seats, man.
yeah, see, and then like that makes sense now because like back in like I was like the people behind me were like, oh, like this guy's smart, and they're probably like this guy's an asshole. So now it makes a little bit more sense, but like they were banging spots, and like I swear to you, I swear, there was one person on the far left at the part that was in a wheelchair, and we did not block anybody else. That I will say.
Whatever it takes to rationalize it, my man.
Yeah, well, that is quite the note for me to leave. That was hilarious.
Man,
But-
you're
but
just
like
the
that-
worst.
Thank you.
I hope
for
you
that.
know that.
I will say, like, I just couldn't connect the dots. I was a little inebriated at that point, so this is,
That's
You
perfect.
are just the worst.
See,
But thank you for that story.
The difference too. First off, I would have never
was
done
to-
that because like going in front, I would be like, I ain't doing that. But if I did that
Disney
and made
doggy
that
dog
realization,
world out there.
that would
No, see, I
sit with
didn't
me.
make that realization.
forever.
I literally made that realization as I was telling this story. Like during the thing, I was like, and the cast member, you would think you'd be like, hey man, like, but like nobody was there. So like,
Here, I'll tell. When I took the little, it was like a couple days, whatever. I went to like a hotel, not too far from here.
yeah,
It was way fancier than I thought it was something. So like I get there and like a valet guy like gets me and stuff and just like escorts me to the desk and everything and all this stuff.
wow.
Whole thing. And so I'm like, thanks, man. And he leaves and everything. And after I like go to my room and everything, I realized
Car.
no, I was supposed to he was waiting for me to tip him. But I didn't know. And it was all so fancy and they were doing so many things. I was like, what is going on right now? And I can hold my bag, sir. No.
No,
But,
see,
but
okay, here.
that still sits with me.
No, see,
I
like,
asked
as a
them to figure out who
valet,
was on shift so I could pay him days later.
See, somebody who like sits there as a valet and expects a tip is like, I don't know. I don't fuck with as a old valeter. Don't expect anything. You know what I mean? That was
the
kind of
place
my
he
whole
works
thing with
at. No
valet.
wonder, but like that's a different. I made that realization, and it was like, boom!
Yeah,
I still feel bad.
and like as I was telling that story, I was like, "You fucked up." Like
Dumb messed up.
Like as soon as I was like, yeah, I walked up and there was nobody there, and it was just like a little rope and like a cast member kind of just standing by there, and the show was about to start in like 3 minutes, and nobody was there, so I just kind of went there, and then. But hey, everybody else, right as I went there,
I mean, yeah.
zoom, yeah, like I
That's
just was ahead of the
humanity at its
curve, kind of.
finest, right? It just takes one.
All
Yeah, I
right,
gotta head
enjoy
out.
your, yeah. We'll move on over to questions here, while Mr. Fruit dips out because I woke up late. Appreciate all the Patreon stands that support the podcast and ask us questions every week. Starting us off this week. Let me see. We'll start here with I think I'm starting here right. Crow says, afternoon, guys. Was wondering if any of you guys have played or seen Ultra Kill before. It's a single player FPS that combines features of Doom and Devil May Cry, and I highly recommend it.
I have
Ultra-
seen so many people talk about this game. There was a couple people in my chat the other day also talking about it, and so I looked it up. It looks pretty fun. It's just
10 out of 10 on Steam.
the old school graphics definitely are like very kind of a cool
Oh,
idea.
So this
Cool.
came out a while ago.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. It looks really fun. I'm just a little. It's hard for me to get into like old school looking titles now, but it seems like a really fun game. I'll probably give it a try. But yeah, so many people are talking about it right now. So, and I'm pretty sure I've seen this game be pretty trendy before. But I guess for some reason I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it right now. So maybe it's just getting
Yeah, having
that
some like
resurgence.
resurgence or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carson, only fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What are you getting for each?
Oh,
For me,
this was
McDonald's
robbed.
breakfast
This was
stays
robbed not too
undefeated.
long ago, so this
I
will
mean,
be
shit,
easy
this
for
might
him.
be me today. If
Dude.
I ate 3 meals, I would have literally fast food probably all 3. When Sydney's like gone on vacation,
I ain't cooking shit. Let's go,
yeah,
baby.
like I just went to Costco too. I'm such a piece of shit. But breakfast McDonald's is like the one that stays undefeated for me. I don't know about you, Blue.
I would say McDonald's is definitely my favorite, but I feel the cholesterol in me, so I just wanna. I try to stay away from McDonald's breakfast. That being said, if perfect world, I'm getting McDonald's breakfast for sure, from a fast food place at least. For lunch, I'd probably do
Yeah.
my Taco Cabana bullshit because I fucking love Taco Cabana. And then for dinner, we're getting Raising Cane's, baby.
Okay. Lunch, I'm gonna go with Torchy's tacos. I
All right.
I think that counts as fast food.
I would say so. Yeah.
And dinner, um, if I could have like anything, it would be In-N-Out.
Boom.
Next question, Mr. Yeager. Oh, okay. Well, that one is a little import fruit, so we'll save it for him. Slater, with a question says, "Hey guys, was a bit behind on episodes and finally caught up. A question for all of you: since we learned about Rob's newfound love for Costco, I was wondering where you guys would where you still love to shop at, groceries, clothing, etc."
I'm gonna be totally honest. I have I have essentially just gone to online only, and I'm trying to be cozy. Um, I do as far as like my homeware, I'll honestly just shop Champion, cheap and it's really nice, dude. As far as like going out, I'll usually I don't know look for some button ups online, branded shit, some Pokemon button ups, pants. I'm really not picky with pants, and no one's ever gonna be like, "Oh, what brand of pants are those?" My ass is going to Walmart for some good pants. All right, same shit, it's half the price, gets me through several years. We Gucci.
Dude, like I'm gonna be honest. Like I haven't bought myself clothes. Like I I could not tell you. like the
Yeah.
last time
No,
I
same.
like bought clothes.
Well, I remember
like this Astro shirt, Astro sent it. Like anything like I ever have in my closet now, it's like
yeah,
either
a lot
a
of my
gaming
stuff is
shirt
just
that's like
gifts.
one of the boys that like I
Yep.
bought off the internet. Astro sent something. Voodoo Ranger sent something, and like that's my wardrobe. And like shit I've had since like high school, like that still fit me. Specific store though, other than Costco. Costco.
Specific. What do you mean? Like,
It
do they
just
mean
says
like?
like if there's other stores you still love to shop at. Like I don't shop like that. Like
Yeah, I don't really go specifically to stores to shop for
like Sydney goes to
clothes.
Target because she loves Target.
Yeah,
Like,
if I happen to see something at like Target or like Walmart or something that I like, I'll be like, oh, bet. Like, I probably need one of
yeah.
those.
But we're
But
never
like,
like, let me go to Target today because I gotta go. Like I love
oh
Target.
god, man, we got stopped by Dillard slash
Yeah.
fucking
L-
Zoomies
Like
slash.
Sydney literally follows TikToks that update what your local Target like has like in stock at the dollar section because they're super cute trinkets that we just have to have. Braden says say at this very moment a clone of you comes out of nowhere. The clone knows everything you know and you have to fight to the death. What comes out victorious, you the clone, or is it a stalemate?
We would be
Um
way not. We would just exist. We would just be like,
oh, see, me and my clone are fighting to the death.
me and my clone are not fighting. We would just be like, fuck, whatever.
I
Life
don't
is
know. All I
pain.
know all it would come down to is I don't know which is the real one. Like which one do I shoot? It would come down to that. And it's a 50-50.
I would probably
But
win.
then like say they shot the real me, would at that point the clone me just pretend like it was the real me? You know what I
See,
mean?
as far as I'm concerned, that's tough because like the clone is probably like, I'm the real me.
Yeah, exactly. Like at
So
that
it's
point,
like, I think it would just be, I think, true fight to the death. It's a hard 50-50. You just don't know.
1 billion lines versus one of every Pokemon. Who comes out on top?
One of every Pokemon, not even close.
Yeah, I think one
We've
of
had
every
this,
Pokemon
we've
like
had this, we've had this
solos.
exact question so many times, and every single time it's like, nah, Pokemon sweeps, not even close.
This one kind of has fruit. How says, hey guys, have you been watching the CS:GO major? Also, let's go Team Liquid. Liquid just lost and is out of the tournament now. Feels bad.
Give up.
Yeah, I've been watching it. Last CS:GO major. And Heroic's gonna win it. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to save these for kind of fruit and see if we'll do the last one here because all these are kind of like what a fruit could put into. Fluffy says, question for Rob: Marvel Snap or Hearthstone? Which you like better / think is better? I like them both for different reasons. I like that with a Marvel Snap game, it's like 2 minutes. I'm in and out. You know, I know what I'm getting into. I do miss the aspect of like controlling a game of cards with like a deck that's like a control deck and it slows the game down and it does a lot of like slow building powerful things, and I feel like you don't really get that in Marvel Snap, at least at the set I'm at. I do like the collection thing for Marvel Snap. It's just kind of confusing. I wish they explained it better. If we're just talking gameplay wise, though, I will say I probably did like Hearthstone. Peak Hearthstone was so awesome and so much fun. But that's not to say I don't like Marvel Snap or anything. I think Marvel Snap is. Have you tried Marvel Snap, Blue?
I have not.
I
Probably
will
won't.
also go ahead.
Probably won't though.
Probably
To
won't.
be honest.
Yeah. The free to play for Marvel Snap is way more free to play friendly than Hearthstone ever was. You know, if there was a deck you thought was really cool that you saw your favorite guy playing, all right, well, let me open like 60 packs and hopefully get the legendary that's in there. And then if I don't, I can dust some of the cards that I already had and maybe craft the legendary. Like it was just to have like the collection, like a full collection in Hearthstone, it was like thousands of dollars. And that's just not worth it anymore. But yeah, we'll end the podcast there. Thank you guys all for listening and hanging out. We will be back. Okay, so next week may look a little different. We may have to do it early. I am going to California to visit some family. And I leave Wednesday. So we may have to do like a Tuesday podcast or something, Blue. Because Mr. Fruit will also be gone.
Mr. Fruit's doing his surgery,
Yeah, so
so it's
Mr.
gonna
Fruit will
be
be on
rough
his
for the dream team.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say rough. We're gonna miss our boy, but we're also not gonna stop doing things because our boy is not gonna be here. You know, I think that would add a super much more. I said that weird. A lot more pressure to him. So the podcast will continue for however long Mr. Fruit is out. So the next week's podcast is definitely going to be a little interesting because
Hey,
it's going to be done early,
We're
but
gonna
we'll get it
surprise
done.
you. We're gonna
Yeah, we'll
surprise you
figure it
guys.
out.
Mr. Fruit's gonna be out for a little bit, but you know what? The boys got some homies lined up for you. Don't worry about that.
All right, thank you guys. Peace out.